I told you about hyperinflation in the past. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem, Rakakwadash. I did videos in the past years dealing with the term inflation and hyperinflation. If you go to Google and you put in inflation, it's not going to tell you too much. If you put in hyperinflation, it's not going to tell you too much. You have to know it. You have to understand it. Hyperinflation is when prices go up. Prices go up not because there's a lack of sources or resources, or an example, prices for lumber or wood has gone up dramatically, not because there's a shortage of wood, but because of the U.S. dollars, I'll call them, Federal Reserve notes, are being pumped into the economy, weakening the dollar. So in turn, you have what is called inflations when prices go up. And hyperinflation is when prices go up dramatically. Like, for example, if you go to the gas station in the morning, the gas might be at a certain price. Later that day, it could go up 5 cents, 10 cents. Maybe in a couple of weeks, it may go down a couple of cents. But when it constantly, drastically goes up and up and up by the day, you get up in the morning, you put the gas is $3 a gallon. Later that night, it might be $5.50 a gallon. The next day, it might be $6. That's where a panic takes place. And then if you look around, you notice that meat, chicken is going up, beef is going up, beans, whatever, toilet paper. That's hyperinflation. And the American people, for the most part, they don't understand the money system, and most politicians don't understand the money system. You got to read the history of the Weimar Republic in Germany before Hitler came into power. You got to read the history of Venezuela. What they're suffering is hyperinflation. Anytime the treasury of a government issues or produces dollars in big numbers, you will begin to experience hyperinflation, inflation, and then if it's not checked, hyperinflation. So here's a couple of articles right here. I put in hyperinflation and I clicked on news. As you come put this up raw, it says, and remember, we here at Great Millstone, mainly myself, been going into that and how money works. But in order for you to understand it, you gotta do the research. You know, you gotta watch the so-called financial experts, mainly on YouTube, guys like Peter Schiff and Jim Rogers and Mark Faber, if he's still alive. I hadn't seen him in a while. Individuals like that, and there are many others out there. And they're mostly Edomites, because Jake don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, it says here, I'm just going to read a couple of articles. out of this mess is apply the scriptures. The scriptures speak about the year of release, which is once every 7 years, all your debts are taken care of or disappear. You get a clean slate. And then every seven years, what I mean by that, every 50 years, 49 going into the 50th year is the year Jubilee. And even economists, if you listen to enough of these money experts, they'll mention the Jubilee. And this is why people are going poor, becoming homeless, losing their job, because they wind up in debt that they can't take care of. Either mortgage with the interest rate, whether it go high or low. Anyway, I'm gonna just read a couple of these articles and I'm gonna close it. It says paying up. Pandemic problems lead to used car prices. It says seeing our prices have inflated to hyperinflation, and like I said, we're seeing unprecedented times where the cost of cars is so much. It's like having and you got to click and you read the rest. Like I said, if you put in hyperinflation, then click on news and you get these articles. I'll read one or two more. It says, this is from Forbes. And Forbes is a magazine that deals with the economy, business. You got a list called I think it's called the Forbes 500. It says the inflation scare doesn't match reality. The 2021 inflation. It says 2020. The coronavirus. Okay, in the first article we read pandemic, which is the coronavirus, right? It says, and this is all, this all became possible, this inflationary period that we're experiencing due to coronavirus. And you have people rushing to get the shots and what have you, and not realizing that the coronavirus, whether real or imagined, is the cause of all this, because governments had to act. You know what? Our take on this whole thing. It says 2020. Let me read that again. The inflation scare doesn't match reality. The 2021 inflation. And you know what? The government, the U.S. government did a great job in dumbing you people down in America. You people are basically stupid. You don't know what's going on. Anyway, it says the corona. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. How much is that? I can't really say how much that rotor is getting. There's some of the rotor, and there's a $25 for the labor on that. Okay, so it's just the one side, right? It's just one side. It's not a side. All right, go ahead. No problem. I need it done. Go ahead. All right, thanks. All right. Yeah, that was my mechanic. Anyway, it says the inflation scare doesn't match reality. The 2021 inflation, 2020, the coronavirus economy will bring inflation. National Review, nightmares, plague, hyperinflation got your attention. This is from the Quad City Times. Column, your gamble with Biden. Inflation or worse, hyperinflation. We're still in an inflationary period, but if it's not checked, see this guy, Biden, he's writing checks, he's writing checks that he can't, what's the old saying, that he can't cash in on. You know, that's called, in economics, it's called, what do you call it, deficit spending. You don't have any money, you got credit cards with high interest rates, and you use a credit card. That's deficit spending. That's spending by way of credit. It says, let me read this again, column. Your gamble with Biden, inflation or worse, hyperinflation. Like I said, if you go to Google, you put in hyperinflation, they're not going to break down what hyperinflation means. Hyperinflation is when they, as I said in the beginning of the video, hyperinflation is when they push dollars in the system, and in turn it causes the dollar to weaken, and in turn prices go up. In hyperinflation, prices go up dramatically. It says after World War I, hyperinflation destroyed the Weimar Republic. So if it destroyed the Weimar Republic, for Hitler to come in, what is it going to do to America if we experience hyperinflation? The same thing. It's going to cause the downfall of America. Today, it ravages Venezuela, and I mentioned that in the beginning of the video. Next one. Oh, this crap came up. This is a DW. This is